So picking up where we just were, just getting through introductions. So the purpose of the conference is to help you all as the trainers deliver the relevant components that you think are most pertinent to your community into the training or with training, and to also introduce you to some of the technical assistance that we can provide you with and give you kind of an overview of the different topics that you can be delivering in your specific trainings. So these are web conferences that we've had a few times, and I think there will be more in the future. I'm not sure if everyone attends those. Carol, do you know if the same trainers are on the same calls?
The trainers can attend as many calls as they need to.
Oh, okay.
We ask that they do a minimum of 4.
Oh, okay.
And, the goal, of course, is to, once you decide what portion of the training curriculum you want to deliver in your community, to reinforce the subject matter, to help provide some specialized content for your particular audience, and meet other needs.
Okay, great. So we'll move right along here. So for the trainer requirements, as Carol was saying, we require you to attend up to 4 one-hour peer coaching web conferences. I think for most of you, this is the first web conference. Overall, this was the second one that we're delivering, and we'll be sending out a doodle poll, either Christy or myself, to schedule the next conference. So on the screen, you'll see some of the other requirements, which includes entering into an MOU with us for technical assistance. Christy and I are also working on model MOUs right now. You can request up to 8 hours of office-based technical assistance from us. Later on in the presentation, we'll be going over how you can get into contact with NIJC for us to provide you with technical assistance. And one of your other requirements is to deliver a training session in your community by March 31st of 2018. And as a last point for this slide, please document your hours. We'll be showing you the timesheet and providing you with one after this web conference, but in the web conference, you'll see a later slide will have an example timesheet for you. So getting on to the next component of the conference, we'll be going over some of the basic topics in conducting your crisis response training.
Can we back up just a minute, Ben?
Yeah.
Did anyone have any questions about what we're asking in terms of for the trainers?
This is Rachel Maurice. I do just on the MOU, because I'm with the district attorney's office here in Riverside, and I'm part of a tribal group here. But is the MOU with our office, or is it with the local tribes? Or can you explain that a bit?
The MOU would be with your office to be a trainer and just to receive the technical assistance from us. So it just will set forth what the, basically what our responsibilities are for you, toward you, and what you would be doing as a trainer with the curriculum.
Okay, got it. And then you said you'll give us a copy of that later?
Yes, we're working on that now.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. That was my only question.
Hi, this is Gail Zepeda. I had a question. We did receive the video for the first webinar. Does that count towards our 4 if we were able to watch that?
Yes.
Okay.
We just ask that you document your hours that you watched it.
Okay.
Hi,
and
Gail.
then the other question I have, when will we see the curriculum? Because it's kind of hard to respond to TA needs without seeing the curriculum. Or will we have training in the curriculum?
Ben is going to discuss that next.
Okay. Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, we're going to cover some of the curriculum topics on here.
And also I wanted to note that we will be, that would be our next thing after this webinar. We'll be sending the curriculum so you can review it and give us input or modifying what you need for your community for your training. and then it will either be on the Moodle online course or sending it through via Google Drive, because it's a large file.
And we'll be going over how to do the Moodle course. I believe it's the last few slides here. And for those of you who didn't get the video from the first webinar, if you can send me an email, my email will pop up here later on, and then I can send you a link. I believe we have it on our YouTube account, so it's pretty easy to access. Does anyone else have any questions we can answer?
No, thank you.
Okay, great. We'll keep chugging along here. So here, this slide shows a recap of the 4 major components from the training. And as Chrissy said, you'll be seeing this more in depth as we send the training out to you. So this is more of an overview. So the first component is essential knowledge for California tribal communities. The second component will be pre-crisis preparation, so preparing for a crisis, crisis prevention, and education strategies. 3 will be responding to the crisis in real time, so responding to victims and active crisis management. And the final component will be post-crisis programming and education strategies.
Hello, did someone join the call?
Maybe we lost someone. I'm not sure if it shows an end dial.
Nope. Sorry. Good morning. It's Dory. Sorry I'm late.
Hi, Dory. How are you?
No worries. Hello. So going into more depth on this first component here, the essential knowledge for California tribal communities and about tribal communities. This topic will cover demographics of California federally recognized and unrecognized tribes. It will discuss historical and generational trauma, PTSD, co-occurring risk factors, and resilience. It will look at community social structures for communication during a crisis, and the focal points for preservation and rescue. The second component, which is the pre-crisis planning, prevention, and education, will cover how to form a tribal crisis response team, the role or roles of tribal crisis response members and training members, developing a victim-centered crisis response plan, trauma-informed crisis response for victims, which includes special needs, how to prevent contagions and clusters, and public health models, including risk and protective factors in injury prevention. So the third component will cover an array of different crises, as you can see by the list, and it includes active crisis management. A few of these include active shooters, terrorism, suicide clusters, drug and alcohol abuse in clusters, environmental disasters, elder and child abuse, neglect and sexual abuse, unique tribal crisis events, responder self-care, and communicating with the tribal community and the media. The fourth component of this training will look at post-crisis education strategies and reviewing the crisis plan that was put in place. So this fourth component will include culturally relevant and trauma-informed debriefing strategies for victims, tribal communities, and responders, coordinated community responses, including engaging services for victims. It will include opportunities and limitations on educational distribution and outreach channels, and it will also include social media versus internet accessibility issues. Does anyone have any questions? I know I went through that pretty fast.
Will we have access to PowerPoint?
Sorry, say that again?
Will we be able to get a copy of this PowerPoint?
Yes. Yeah. If you send me an email, and I'll put my email up at the end, I can send you a copy.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Also,
Rachel. My only question was going to be is if that's the same kind of stuff we had if we attended the meetings before? Is it kind of similar to that, the presentation?
Yes, we're asking that the curriculum, or a portion of it, so it doesn't have to be the whole curriculum. It can be something out of one of the components and even a subcomponent that you feel your audience, needs training on.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, and then we have the curriculum materials that are available through an online course or through Google Drive. And those can be tailored, that's kind of part of the technical assistance. If you need help with tailoring it towards the specific tribes you're working with, the region you're working within, the multi-jurisdictional environment, etc., we can assist with that as well.
Thank you.
And our technical assistance will also include kind of helping you develop materials for those specific components or subcomponents as well. Are there any other questions before we move on? All right, I'll keep going. So the next component will be selecting curriculum components for your training. We'll go more into depth in this presentation about kind of us trying to facilitate the needs that you'll have and even helping you kind of select these specific components of what you want to include in this training, specifically which components your community will need. So there are a few different formats that you can select based on your audience, including an in-person format, the online version, and we have, Christy, do you know if our Moodle course is something that we can tailor for the presenters as part of the technical assistance?
We can maybe create a copy of the Moodle course if there's a lot of modifications. I would say, or we could adjust it based on if they're covering all the 4 components or just 1 or 2 of those modules. So what I've done in the past for other trainings, we create a copy of the course, the original course, and then we modify it based on the trainer's needs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something that we can potentially work with the trainers on in terms of helping them deliver an online course instead of an in-person training.
And then the blended is when it's delivered both in person and online. So you might have people in a classroom setting, but people that aren't able to attend in the classroom but still want to participate in all or a portion of the training over the internet or on the phone.
And is that the technical assistance, is that something we can test out before, like, we conduct the training to make sure all of our equipment works correctly?
Christy, you want to answer that?
Yeah. So, we're here to help you with, once everyone has, you've scheduled a date for your training, we can help you with, Ben's going to go over all the components of what we can provide. But, yes, we could help, at your site to see what software, if it's blended, you're going to need either ReadyTalk or GoToMeeting, and then, but we can help you with, giving you technical assistance on how to use it. And if hopefully at your site you have someone like a tech who can help you with it. But also we've done examples, like we practice like a day or 2 before, but we'll be working with you until the day of the training, and we have a lot of materials that we produce to kind of keep you on track in what you may need. Yeah.
Christy has created a lot of very useful checklists and advisements for training, so they're great.
All right, are there any more questions that we can answer? All right, I'll keep going. So, sorry. difficulty on my end. Can you all still see the screen?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, looks good, Ben.
Okay, thank you. So moving on. So this slide shows how you can request technical assistance from us. You'll be contacting me, but Christy and I will both be working on the technical assistance side of it. So my email is here. It's tcr-ta@nijc.org. You can also give us a call or send us a fax at the numbers on the screen. And like I said, I can send this presentation out to you afterwards. So in your message, we ask that you include the topic of your technical assistance need and give us a brief description on what you would like help with. And I will be sending you a confirmation email letting you know that I got your message, and it should take us about 3 to 5 days to respond, give or take, depending on how much outreach we need to do based on that particular issue. Does anyone have any questions about that before I get into the timesheets? All right. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the next couple slides will go over the timesheets. We'll provide you with a timesheet to track your hours. Like Carol was saying before, that includes tracking time spent watching or attending the webinars. So here's an example of what the timesheet's going to look like. Carol, did you have anything to add for this one?
No, I don't. Unless people have questions, I can help answer them.
Are there any questions about the timesheets?
I just have a quick question. If we didn't do like any hours, you guys just want like an email, or are these due monthly? Just kind of when you guys are expecting to see these.
I would say quarterly. We can set up a schedule and let you know. Thank you for asking that question too.
All right, are there any other questions about the timesheets? All right, I'll keep moving along. So the next portion of the webinar will be devoted to needs assessment, specifically kind of talking about the technical assistance that we can provide, as well as some of the needs in your community that we might be able to start addressing. So this is a list of the topics that trainers are interested in delivering based on the needs assessment survey that was sent out. So these are the 4 main components that we went over earlier. So it's kind of a broad swath of each component is something that different trainers are looking for. So we wanted to ask you, we know based on the survey that trainers want materials for the topics that were on the previous slide, which is basically all of the major topics. Are there any other needs that you all are interested in getting technical assistance for or presenting in your presentations?
Is anyone interested in doing the entire curriculum, or are people interested in just doing a portion of it?
Hi, this is Gail. It's hard for me to respond because I really need to go through the curriculum and see what it is and do some evaluation of whether it's going to meet the community needs, and that way then I would be able to give feedback. But right now, without having that experience, it's kind of hard for me to respond.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And a couple of people that are on the call, Gail, have been to the regional training, and I know you haven't had the advantage of doing that. So
was that the first webinar, or was that an in-person?
There were 2 in-person trainings. There was one in Sacramento and one in the San Diego area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't get that. So.
And we're going to be having several more coming up.
Okay. That's good to know. Thanks.
Yeah.
And we'll be working on getting that curriculum out to you as well so that you can do the review. All right, are there any more questions, or should we move it along? All right, we'll keep going. So this is just a list based on, like I said, we sent out the needs assessment survey, and these were the technical assistance needs that were cited in the survey, and those include help with identifying presenters for the training session, help with registering training participants, help with advertising for the session, including creating an outreach flyer, help with creating a PowerPoint and other presentation materials, and help modifying portions of the curriculum to address specific needs for the audience. So we put together a few questions here on this slide for you all. You can also feel free to email about these questions if you need some time, need to consult other people. But we want to know what you would like us to teach in the next webinar, any type of help you need to conduct your training. Like we said earlier, we'll be sending out sample materials, and we would like your feedback on those, including PowerPoints, handouts, and flyers. And we'd also like to know if you have any recommendations from your community for more trainers.
This is Rachel from Riverside. I did have a request from one of the elders about seeing if some of the other elders, maybe in one of the counties that have had this type of training or something, they were just curious to hear their story and have them come in person. I don't know if that's a possibility, but I just told them that I would ask. They kind of just want feedback. I don't know if my question makes sense. They just want to hear from other tribal communities that are maybe have been part of this or something like that.
Okay.
Was it based on like a certain topic that they were interested in learning more about, or?
I guess for them it sounded like it would be more of a, some of them are on board, but some of the other elders might not be in some of our other communities. So I guess knowing that maybe other tribes are part of this and that they've kind of had a good success, not a good success, but I think it's just more of a comfort level for some of the tribes that might want to hear from other tribal members who have taken part in this, kind of know that it's okay to do it. I guess that's the feeling I got. Even though it's I did explain that it's a newer thing, so there's really not a lot of maybe other tribal communities that have been part of this. That's just, so they were just curious, well, who does know about it, and can we hear from some of them possibly?
Because so far we've only had 2 regional trainings, which is the one that you have attended. I believe you attended both of them. And, you know, if they want to, you know, we have the online course. We could provide the curriculum. And maybe from the people that attended those sessions, we could ask them if they would be willing to share their experience to them.
Okay, and actually that might be helpful if I could get a list of tribal members that attended those, and then I can share with my tribal elders to say, hey, here's a list, because they might know each other and be able to reach out on their own. I just don't know who went to where, and I'm not the best at remembering names, too.
Yeah, we have the rosters for the last 2 trainings.
Okay, then that might be a good first step. That probably might solve what their question was for me.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Is this something you wanted to maybe have a blended, if you do have the training, have someone remote in if they're not located in the area to to the group?
Oh, that might be a good possibility. Yeah, that would be something I can ask them about, especially once I find out exactly what they're wanting to hear. Because it's all new information to them, so I don't even know that they know themselves what they want to hear.
Mm-hmm. Do you need assistance with assessing what they want to hear, or is that a conversation?
Yes, that would be great, actually. I do need assistance with that.
And how large is the group you're working with?
There are, like, how many tribes are involved? Because there's multiple tribes involved.
Yes.
There's at least 6 for sure that are interested and want to attend the training.
Okay, so there's at least 6 elders then, correct?
Yeah, and we do quarterly meetings anyway, so we kind of meet on a regular basis out here, which is how I'm able to get in touch with so many at a time.
Okay, great. And when is your next meeting?
You know what? We just had it last month in September. So then the next one probably won't be till like around January, or we meet quarterly. So there may be one like December-ish, but it just kind of depends. We haven't scheduled it yet.
Okay. And do you think the group, the elders, would be amenable to a web conference?
Yeah, they would.